Good morning, party ponies. You guys, it is Wednesday. It is hump day. And I have recommitted to my personal growth this year. That is, I didn't set any resolutions. I just wanted to realign my own journey, my own heart set, my own mindset, because I've been kind of stuck, been kind of negative. But it doesn't serve me. It doesn't make me feel good, and it definitely doesn't make me a light, which is one of the reasons I'm a coach, is I want to inspire you guys and help you just refocus as many times as you need to, right? Because that's part of being human. So I signed up for Dave Hollis's challenge. I freaking love Dave Hollis. It is a free 2-week challenge, and he has a whole Facebook community, which I'm not really participating in that, but every single morning I get an email. You can sign up. It's not too late. And I'm just watching his video, and I've gotten so much out of it, and it's all so far centered around struggle. And that struggle is just a reflection of your humanity. It doesn't mean that you're less than, or you're not good enough, or you're too far behind, or you're never going to get there. When you embrace your struggle, you guys, when you allow the struggle to come out of the dark, because I think so often we feel all shamey about our struggle. Maybe it's emotional eating. Maybe it's stopping your journey. Maybe you're a compulsive spender. Maybe you are mean to yourself. I don't know, but we all have a struggle. We all have a thing that we feel so much guilt and around, and struggle thrives in the dark. So I'm challenging you to take your struggle out of the dark today and know that there's no reason to feel all this guilt and shame around it. Like, those things don't serve you, and they don't grow you, and they're not going to help you level up your life and move into that next level version of yourself. So he said this thing today that really resonated with me, and that's why I'm here telling you about it. How we all of us, right? All of us have something in our lives that we feel shamey about, or we feel guilt about, and it's usually the secondary storm that comes from the guilt and the shame of it. So you do the thing, whatever the thing is, right? Or something happens to you, and your coping mechanism, instead of something really healthy, is maybe it's to drink. Or maybe it's to eat 2 Symphony bars. Or maybe it's to buy all the shit you don't need over on Old Navy, okay? You know, whatever that is. But that thing that you're allowing to happen because of the guilt and shame is creating a secondary storm. And your secondary storm is usually so much more impactful than the first thing. The first thing that you originally felt the guilt and the shame around. So my challenge to you today is to take a little time and figure out, number one, to take whatever it is you're feeling guilty and shamey about, take it out of the dark, because it doesn't need to thrive there, okay? It doesn't deserve rent space there. You can take it out. It's just a reflection of your humanity. It just shows that you're a real freaking human doing the best that you can. And you guys, like, your coping mechanisms, if they're not serving you, they're keeping you stuck. And so I'm challenging you to flip the script on your own coping mechanisms. Instead of going to the chocolate, instead of making yourself that sugary coffee or whatever, instead maybe you take a couple minutes and you turn on some really good music, or maybe you dance, or maybe you get outside and go for a walk, or maybe you take a minute to do your energy practice, or you sit down and you read a freaking book. You guys, like, we're all different, but we all have the same struggle. We all have the same struggle, and for most of us it leads to guilt and shame. So I wrote down a couple of his notes. The first one was, when you're making a mistake, you can be guilty and good. That mistakes don't make you bad. Mistakes make you human. So it's okay to feel guilty and good at the same time. Does that make any sense? It makes you human. Your shame doesn't indict you. It doesn't show that you're a terrible person. It just shows that you're a real freaking human, okay? So it's what you decide to do with the shame, what you decide to do with that secondary storm behavior, like if you're just gonna like pound the whiskey or whatever, versus moving your body, or scheduling the therapy appointment, or saying to yourself, you know what, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole and mean girl myself. I'm going to say my affirmations, I'm gonna practice my gratitude, and I'm going to hijack my old mindset because it no longer serves me. And my life is too precious to go down the rabbit hole. So number one, making a mistake you can be both guilty and good in your mistake. It's okay. It's a learning opportunity. Number two, guilt and shame are life's best teachers if you allow them to be. You're not the only one making the mistake. You're not the only one this has happened to, but it's all about your perspectives. It's all about you deciding to either have a growth mindset or a stuck mindset. Like, am I just going to focus on how shameful I feel and I'm so bad and I'm terrible and all these mean girl things? Or instead, are you going to be like, you know what is the lesson in this? Like, what can I learn from this? And when I was doing some therapy after I had that car accident, and I was like, but what's the lesson? And she was like, there is no lesson. There is no meaning. My therapist said this. There's no lesson. There's no meaning. Only what you assign to it. And so that was like, what? There's got to be a meaning behind everything, but there's just not. You get to assign meaning. You get to assign the lesson. You get to find that morsel thing of good inside the crap sandwich, because there's always something good. But it comes down to your perspectives, because if you're having this poor me little violin situation and you are a victim, then you'll never find the lesson. You'll never find the freaking good, and you will live inside your shame sandwich for the rest of forever. And I don't know about you, but that sounds terrible. Total side note, I was listening to Beachbody. Every single Monday we have a training call. And this last week, the CEO interviewed Kat, who is the modifier in 21 Day Fix, and what else is she in? I don't know. She's in 9 Week Control Freak. So he was interviewing her, and it was kind of a weird call. But he said he recommended that everyone goes over to Netflix and watches Playbook. And the very first episode, they interviewed Doc Cooper? Doc something or other? I don't know. If you watch Playbook on Netflix, you'll see what I'm talking about, and it was such a good thing. It was so good. I'm so glad I watched it. Okay, let's get back to business, all right? So, guilt and shame are life's best teachers if you allow them to be, and if you don't just hide in the dark with your, like, precious, about how bad you are and how stuck you are and how you suck so much. Don't tell yourself those things. Allow the guilt and the shame to be life's best teachers for you. Number 3, mistakes are universal. We all make them. We make them over and over. Seriously, if you are not failing on a daily basis and you're not actually striving to be better, how about that? If you are not making mistakes on a daily basis, you're not taking any chances. You're not stretching yourself. You're not pushing yourself. And you guys, this isn't about playing small. It's not about you changing your entire freaking life today in this moment, but it's about you getting really honest about who you want to be and where you want to go, and then taking the daily freaking action to get there. So, struggle thrives in the dark. You either give it power or you take away its power. You take back your own power and you say, yes, I'm struggling. This is really hard. This is sucking ass. But I can learn from it. I'm choosing to learn from it. I'm choosing to get better. I'm choosing my mindset. There's nothing wrong with feeling the feels. I want you to feel your feels. If you don't feel your feels, that's how we get into all kinds of weird behaviors and bad stuff. Okay, it's so important. Brianna taught me this. So freaking important to honor your feelings, to give them space, to cry the tears, to have the tantrum, right? But then to surrender it and not to live in that space of it. Feel the feels and then let that shit go. Learn the lesson that you're supposed to get from it. So there's a way to reframe your mistakes. Good morning. You can learn from them and you can create plans assertively, push back against them in a way that catalysts you into the best version of yourself. So you can learn from the stuff that's happened, right? And you can create new plans, new coping mechanisms, new plans of action, I'm going to do this next time this happens, and take back your power. You don't have to continue to repeat same patterns. Even if that was the patterns that your parents and your grandparents created, there's no such thing, I don't believe, as generational curses. There's generational choices, and we choose to duplicate, we choose to replicate. We choose that. Whether it's on a subconscious level or, a conscious level, I think all of us in this day and age, we're evolved enough to know that when we're repeating something, and we have a responsibility to heal ourselves. It's not up to that person. Someone wounded you, someone damaged you, they're damaged, okay? And you're not their mom. Well, maybe. It's not your responsibility to fix that person. It's your responsibility to fix yourself and to heal those heart wounds so that your kids and your family and your future doesn't continue to duplicate those. Your struggle is just a reflection of your humanity. And you need to choose. It's a conscious decision over and over that we all get to choose, not to be held back by guilt and shame, but to learn from them and to normalize mistakes, normalize the failure. It's not a bad thing. It means that you are moving along your path, and you're going to stumble and you're going to fall. It's just part of life. If you're not, well, then you're playing so safe and so small that your life, Like, that's a sad story. So don't be worried about failing. Just take action today. And if it's not your best, who cares? Like, every single day you choose to show up, it's you getting better. It's you leveling up. It's going to create and cultivate an attitude of self-confidence. You guys, confidence isn't something you're gifted with. Confidence is something you freaking grow. And you grow it by taking the action and doing the uncomfortable stuff, even when you're worried about how it's going to look or what other people will think. Other people are thinking about themselves. So you focus on yourself. Take your shame out of the darkness today. Struggle thrives in the dark. So take it out. Shine the freaking light on it. What can you learn from it? How can you change your coping mechanisms and your reaction to it to become a better, happier, healthier, saner freaking human? Cool? So, fist bumps. Today, day 3 with Dave Hollis. I really recommend it. If you want to sign up for it, cool. If not, stay here. Just plug in here and I'll share my ahas along the way. And I hope that you are layering in some kind of personal growth. Really, you guys, this isn't just about your workouts. It's not just about nutrition, getting enough water and rest. Those are all really vital parts of your journey. But the heart work and the mindset work, that is the piece that will transform your entire freaking life and make everything else fall into line. So listen to something that inspires you today. Read something that builds you up, that deals with whatever personal thing you're dealing with, whatever shamey thing you're dealing with. And if you have something that you know keeps being a freaking star player in your life that isn't serving you, that's cultivating more guilt and more shame, then find some personal development to deal with that. It's such a personal thing. I'm not going to give you a recommendation because it's personal. Google it. If you need help, if you need a suggestion, you can drop a comment. We have that whole personal development list in this page under files. And, you know, it doesn't have to all be something that you resolve today, but shine the light on it. Take your shame and your guilt out of the darkness. You're not alone. You're not the only freaking person this has happened to. And you have an amazing opportunity to grow from it.